You're telling your dog about your day. Maybe it's something about dinner. Maybe it's nothing at all. And they tilt their head. That little sideways look that makes you stop mid-sentence because it's so unbearably cute. But inside that tilted skull, something extraordinary is happening. Something scientists only discovered in the last decade. Most people assume dogs just respond to the sound of your voice, the pitch, the energy. They hear happy, they wag, they hear angry, they slink. But in 2016, a team at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest put dogs inside an fMRI scanner, and what they found changed how we understand the canine brain. But the story actually starts 2 years earlier. In 2014, the same lab led by Attila Andics made a discovery no one expected. They found voice-sensitive regions in the dog's auditory cortex, dedicated areas in the temporal lobe that activate specifically when a dog hears a human voice. Not barking, not environmental noise, human speech. And here's the part that stunned the scientific community. These regions are structurally analogous to the voice areas in the human brain. These voice areas don't respond equally to all sounds. They react more strongly to human voices than to any other acoustic signal. A car horn, a doorbell, another dog barking, none of them light up this region the way a human voice does. But there's a hierarchy even within human voices. Your voice, the one your dog hears every single day, triggers a stronger response than a stranger's voice. Your dog's brain doesn't just hear people, it listens for you. But here's where it gets even deeper. When Andics and his team ran the 2016 fMRI study, they tracked exactly how dogs process human speech. And they found something remarkable. The left hemisphere processes word meaning. The right hemisphere processes intonation. Two separate channels, running simultaneously. This is not a simplified version of language processing. This is the same dual-channel architecture that operates in the human brain. And here's the proof it's not just passive hearing. When the words and the tone match praise words spoken in a praising voice, the reward center lights up. The caudate nucleus, the same region that activates when you eat something you love or see someone you've missed. But when the words don't match the tone praise words in a flat voice or neutral words in an excited voice, the reward center stays quiet. Your dog isn't just hearing your tone, they're cross-referencing it with the actual words. Now, remember that head tilt? In 2022, a team led by Andrea Somez and Adam Miklosi studied what they call gifted word learner dogs. These are dogs that can learn the names of dozens, sometimes hundreds of objects. And they noticed something consistent. When these dogs heard the name of a familiar toy, they tilted their heads. Not randomly, not reflexively. They tilted specifically when the brain was recalling a stored word. The head tilt wasn't a cute quirk, it was a sign of active recall. And there's more. The direction of the tilt left or right tends to be consistent within each individual dog. The same dog tilts the same way every time. This isn't random movement. Research suggests this reflects lateralization, a preference for processing language in one hemisphere over the other. In humans, we call this handedness. In dogs, it may be something very similar, a brain organized for language. But here's a question almost nobody thinks to ask. Does the direction your dog turns actually mean something? In 2014, researchers Victoria Ratcliffe and David Reby played sounds through speakers on both sides of a dog. When the sound was meaningful human speech, dogs turned their head to the right. Left brain processing, language. When the sound was stripped of meaning reversed audio, unfamiliar noise, they turned left. Right brain processing, non-linguistic sound. This asymmetric pattern is not unique to dogs. It's the exact same lateralization humans use. Left hemisphere for language, right hemisphere for non-speech sounds. Two species, separated by millions of years of evolution, using the same neural architecture to decode meaning from sound. And it goes further. In 2022, Laura Cuaya and her colleagues ran an fMRI experiment with a remarkable twist. They played dogs' recordings in different languages. One the dog heard every day at home, one the dog had never heard. The brain responded differently to each. Dogs could distinguish between their familiar language and an unfamiliar one. Not the words, the rhythm, the melody, the accent. Your dog has been learning the sound of your language for years. When you put all of this together, voice-sensitive regions, dual-channel language processing, language familiarity, a picture emerges. Your dog's brain has built a dedicated neural model of your voice. Not a generic human voice, yours, shaped by every word you've spoken to them, every morning greeting, every good night. Over months and years, their brain has tuned itself specifically to you. And there's one last piece. In 2023, Lila Magyari and her team measured brainwave responses in dogs using ERP event-related potentials. They played dog sequences of words. When a word matched the expected context, the brain responded predictably. But when a word didn't fit, when it violated what the brain expected to hear, there was a spike. A surprise signal, the same type of neural surprise response found in human toddlers learning language. Your dog's brain doesn't just hear words, it predicts them. So what is the head tilt? It may be the visible signature of a brain in the middle of active processing. The moment your dog hears a word and their brain is reaching for the meaning, matching sound to memory, checking expectation against reality, that adorable tilt isn't a pose. It's a window into a brain doing something we only recently learned was possible. One thing worth paying attention to. Dogs tend to tilt their heads more when you're close, face to face, speaking directly to them. That's because they're not just processing your voice. They're integrating your facial expression, your eye contact, your body language all at once. It's multimodal processing, and it's most active when you're present and engaged. But if your dog suddenly stops tilting their head, or if they start tilting persistently to one side without stimulus, it's worth a conversation with your vet. Sudden changes in head position can sometimes be related to hearing changes or vestibular function. It's probably nothing serious, but your vet can rule things out quickly. So, the next time you're talking to your dog, and they stop, and tilt their head, and look at you with that expression that makes everything feel okay for a second, remember what's actually happening. That tilt is not a trick. It's not a reflex. It's their brain processing your voice through regions that, 10 years ago, science didn't even know existed. Your voice is not just sound to your dog. It is the one signal their brain built an entire circuit to decode. And that circuit doesn't respond to just anyone. It responds to you.